Miami's practice today is closed. There's no B-roll. Coach will be available at the end of practice, but practice is closed to media and the public today. All right, first off, I'm Trent Hilburn from the Sun Bowl Association. This is our Miami Coordinators Press Conference. And first I want to start with Coach Whipple. Am I right?
Yeah, that's where you want to start.
Yeah, okay, well, we'll just have you say a few comments and then we'll go into any questions that anyone might have. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good to be here. It's been a really good week. Talking to the kids last night, they felt like, I don't want to say it was an upgrade, but they seem to be having a lot of fun. We're a very well organized bowl. Hats off to the Sun Bowl representatives. You couldn't ask for better people to help you and everything you need. But the biggest thing is always about the kids. You saw last night, I saw a bunch of them in the hallway during the hypnosis session, and I tried to bring that guy in for this game, but I don't know if that'll work. But they just seem like they're having a lot of fun and staying together, and that's what it's all about. So on that end, I'm really excited about where we're at and where the kids are at.
Mark, offensively, is there going to be much change that we're going to see on Friday compared to what we saw during the regular season?
Yeah, we like getting more touchdowns like always. So the change on that, but you know, sometimes when you have this long a game plan, you maybe have somewhat too much. So I've asked the quarterbacks to look at some of those things and detail where we're at. And we've had more practices than we did last year's bowl game. So and you got two guys there. So, you know, kind of maybe detail a little bit to each one of them. So, change, I don't know. Yeah, we you know, certainly changed the last two games. We just want to find a way to get one more point than Notre Dame.
Do you look to do a lot of different things, or do you, for the most part, stick with what you've been doing play-wise?
You know, we'll always have some wrinkles. You know, I think it's good for the kids and kind of what my philosophy is. And you know, it's probably why we needed to close practice today, and you know, so it just kind of depends on what the defense is going to give you and how they're playing, and they really played well the last 3 weeks and all throughout the season. So got a lot of good players, you know, up front. They can rush the passer, and linebackers are good. The safeties can run, and corners can really cover on the outside. So you know, but we got to worry about ourselves. So we've got to try to get some matchups and you know, have balance. That's the biggest thing. If we have balance, and we've got a good shot to you know, score touchdowns.
Does their defense remind you of any team that you've played previously?
Well, you know, they base out of a 3-4, so with that, but they move a lot more than Georgia Tech, and you know, Bob worked for Albro, and so, but they do a little bit more than that. And nobody really, you know, that would be the closest one just because of scheme. You know, so, but not anybody that we played lately. Just most of the Georgia Tech would kind of be a little bit of a base for us.
Who stands out on film for Notre Dame?
Oh,
individually.
45, the defensive and outside linebacker, excellent player up front. Obviously, the Williams kid, the nose kid, didn't play the light lately, but you go back to early on, and in a 3-4, you need that guy in the middle, and he is certainly a presence. And Teo, number 5, can really play. You know, leading tackler, can run sideline to sideline, is physical in front, and you know, the safeties. 22 is a really straight line, fast guy. You see him run down Denard Robinson. You see him run down some other guys. And then Walls has got experience. I remember when he was coming out of Woodland Hills, he was a big recruit when I was in Pittsburgh. And so they do a lot of good things. They're a good match. They got players at every level, and I think they're really, like anytime you come into a new situation, there was a little bit of, whatever, it's changed, but you look at the way they played the last 3 games, and I think they're really playing together as a unit and playing with a lot of confidence. So they've got good players, they've got good scheme, and they believe in what they're doing. And you know, we've got to really take care of the ball and try to win the one-on-one matchups when we get them.
Mark, do you expect to have Stephen Morris at practice today?
I don't know. We'll see. You know, he rolled his ankle, so I don't know. He was walking around pretty good. It was a lot better last night, but so we'll just see where he's at in the whole thing. I don't think it was as bad as they originally thought. And I quickly saw him this morning, so we'll just kind of see what that's like.
Coach, can you just talk about Spencer a little bit, what it's been like to be with him?
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. Icing on the cake. Not you just do. I'm not saying it's going to be the easiest thing. You know, there's some heartaches in there, but lucky just that's been a gift that's been given to me at Miami to spend day to day with your son, see him mature, see him grow, and it's always special with a player, especially different in college than it is in the NFL. But with him, it's just you know, he gained a lot of confidence, and credit to Coach Shannon and you know, to buying in on him running a scout team, and then Coach Swayze and the weight staff has done a great job, and the assistant coaches and the players, and hey, it's always fun to be a part of a team. But the day-to-day things, the little things that you know, that I'll cherish for the rest of my life as a father and son kind of deal that you don't think. It was just tremendous. So it's been a lot of fun, you know, with him out here, so it's good.
And he got some good, decent playing time?
Yeah, if
this
you want
year?
to call it decent, you know.
Maybe he doesn't.
At times, you know, but he's
Right.
worked hard. He's done a good job.
But he came in some important games.
Yeah, they're all, you know, they're all important. So he's done a good job, you know, and he's exceeded my expectations. We weren't, you know, he wasn't going to be any Heisman watch or anything, but, you know, he did a great job, and that's what I said. He'll work hard and be a good teammate and do the things you need to do, and that's what he's always done, and, you know, and it's worked out well.
Mark, what about your future? This whole situation with the coaches seemed kind of awkward because you and I guess a couple other coaches, there's been nothing said. Do you know your status?
No, I don't know. We just, most as we said when this whole thing happened, was that we're going to do the best thing we can for the players, the kids. That's what it's all about. That's what you're in it for. So that's all we're doing is focusing on today's practice, and tomorrow I'll get them mentally ready, and then, you know, play the game on Friday.
But as far as you guys knowing if you're going to be here after the season?
You know, that's irrelevant at this point. You know,
Okay.
one way or the other, and.
Is it kind of emotional? I mean, Jeff was saying it's kind of emotional because obviously some coaches are leaving, and you guys.
Yeah, Randy put a great staff together. We had great people, and you know, that's always, but it's part of the deal. It's part of it. Sometimes when you win, you know, big games and everything else, and championships, the staff breaks, and sometimes when you don't win, the staff breaks. But the relationships are really what with John and all the other guys on defense and offense, and then, but mostly with the players and the things that way. And I think this group of people and the coaching staff, and obviously Stout's done a great job. And I really, it hit home maybe a little bit more when Mike Price, who's an old friend, a great friend, said it at practice the other day. He said, geez, I was really surprised at your enthusiasm, where the guys competed. Not surprised, but saying, hey, you don't know what's going to happen in this situation. And I think that's a tribute to the staff and Stout and what everybody's done, and the relationships this group of men have with these players, and you know, hopefully it'll just continue today and through Friday.
Spencer is a junior, right? Football-wise?
He's got one more semester, two more this spring and fall he graduates.
So he'll come back
Yeah.
next year.
Mhm.
Okay. And one other thing I wanted to ask you about the weather. I'm sure it's not a big deal to you, but I think it's supposed to get quite cold. Does that mean anything? I don't think it's supposed to rain though for the game.
You know, just worry about that day. You know.
I mean,
Not like you can't practice it. Whatever's out there today, we'll practice in it.
Right.
Go and
It has
we had the
no-
early morning deals in Miami, which were probably like, you know, low 40s or something, and you know, so I don't know. But a lot of times in a throw game, it's more the wind, Susan, than maybe the cold.
There's supposed to be a lot of, I think, swirling
Yeah.
wind actually that day, pretty high winds. How does that affect things? And I don't
Yeah,
know.
somewhat. You know, obviously throwing the ball down the field, which way, and certain things you don't know the stadium, and you know, but. If you throw it well, then it usually doesn't matter. And you know, those guys spin it pretty good. Jacory does. And the guy that doesn't throw spirals, it becomes more of a problem. You know, so and we'll see with the bowl. Obviously, the kicking game comes into play a lot more with fielding, punts, and kickoffs, and field goals, and that. So just another set of circumstances you got to deal with.
With the starting job open at quarterback, how's that kind of impacted Jacory and Steven's performance in practice as far as competition?
Well, I think that, they both have gotten a lot better. Obviously Jacory's healthy, both physically and mentally, coming off of that kind of, violent, the concussion and everything, but just a kind of different. Those guys have been tremendous. They said, here's what we're going to do, and pretty much even the reps. And obviously Jacory got a lot more yesterday, but I feel really good about that position, going into the game. The best I felt at any time. Now we'll see where Steven's at, but so it's been a positive. They've handled it really well and gotten a lot of reps. And they said we practiced more than we did last year, so it's been really good.
Moving forward, do you feel like both of those guys having someone to push each other is going to help them in the spring?
I don't think competition is ever a bad thing, but it's not like, they're talking all the time, and they always had. When Steven played, Jacory was on the sideline helping him out some things. We'd be all there together, and Spence, so that all part. Hey, you see this coverage, look at this corner, look at this safety, what he's doing in position, and linebackers' eyes, and all the things we talk about in meetings, and it carries over the field. And that's always been there. That was there when, it's kind of why we said, when Randy and I talked, said, hey, it's important that Jacory, went to the Georgia Tech game, or on the road. He wasn't going to play, but it was important that he was there and everything else. It's another kind of coach or things we're talking, can you see this, or give me a little help on the backside, so it's kind of always kind of important kind of relationship, and I think that's really grown between those two guys, and I said, like we always talk about, we've got a real good room. Those guys are respectful of one another and have a great relationship.
Coach, is there anything in particular the last few weeks that you feel good about in terms of improvement with the offensive unit?
Yeah, we got a lot. Overall, got a lot of the young guys, a lot of good work. I don't know if that'll show up in the game, but we had the seconds, and same with John's guys on defense. So we gave those guys a lot of reps, and there was a lot of encouragement and between from the ones down to the twos, and that. So we built some depth, and that's really good. And I'm saying you really want to play those guys, but that was good, and just the way they've gone about their business. I think that the whole team has matured from where we were a year ago.
One last question. Anyone?
Which of your seniors projected as the highest draft choices?
Oh, I don't know. If I was in the NFL, I'd tell you. 4 years ago, I'd have told you. So I don't know whatever they sat and talked to anybody.
Which one looks like pro players to you?
We got a few. Alan Bailey's going to be as a good player. Leonard Hankerson's really helped himself, and those guys can play. And those would be two. Colin, there's whatever it is, Orlando. There's guys, Donick and Deming. But I haven't talked to anybody. I mean, they came around early, all like scouts that I knew, and the guys that way, but nobody's called me on that. No, but there's guys that can play. There's guys that can play, but they'll worry about that probably at 4 o'clock Friday afternoon, on that. Okay, thanks. Good to see you guys.